We're joined with Peter Dixon from Swale Lions here at BRFM. So Peter, firstly, what is Swale Lions Club?
Swale Lions Club is part of Lions Club International. It's the world's largest service club organisation. There are more than 1.3 million members in more than 45,000 clubs worldwide in over 200 countries and geographical areas. So it's a very big service organisation, and because we appear to have a kind of modest approach to what we do, not a lot of people know. So I'm pleased to be able to tell you that there are a lot of lions about. One of our basic aims is to raise money to do what's necessary to help people in our local community of Swale, and also to support international projects.
How do you fundraise?
Well, in as many ways as we possibly can, obviously. I mean, these days with recession and everything else, it's not easy. Our main fundraising happens next month in December, when outside the local supermarkets over the weekends we have a Christmas collection. There's usually a Father Christmas there, and we have some festive music to encourage the shoppers, and people are very generous and fill up the buckets. And we do a rota system so that nobody freezes for too long. Other things we do include things like quiz nights. We often have a stall at public events like the Sittingbourne Spectacular, for example, and we run raffles and tombolas. And every year, whoever is on the fundraising committee tries to think up new ideas to raise money. Probably over the last few years, it's fair to say that we average around £5,000 raised during 1 year, but it's not getting any easier.
Okay.
Now, my job is chairman of the projects committee, and we look at all cases on merit. One of the things that I particularly enjoy doing lately has the acronym CWLTI, or QUILTI, which stands for Children with Life-Threatening Illnesses. We have a contact with Medway Maritime Hospital, and where, for example, rather shockingly, a young child has suddenly been diagnosed with leukemia or cancer, clearly the whole family is going to suffer, and particularly the child. So we make tactful contact with the family to see if there's something we can do to perhaps give them a brighter day. We might arrange a trip for the family. We might buy something that the child really needs. Or a very simple example, we had a young lad who had been in hospital for a long time. He was a Manchester United fan. I immediately identified with that, as I have been one for many years. And through contacts at Manchester United, we managed to get him a signed Ruud van Nistelrooy shirt. And no sooner did he got it than he left the club, but the child himself was delighted with it. Sadly, there are some of these children that really don't survive very long, and over the few years we've had 4 or 5 youngsters who have passed away. But the idea is to try to do something to cheer the family up when they're going through a difficult time. Those are the kind of things we've been involved with. We always support the local hospitals and help them to get things that are not normally provided automatically by the NHS. We've been involved in a number of youth projects and Sight First, where the idea is the ultimate aim is to eliminate blindness across the world, is a Lions sponsors project. But there are lots of other things, so when they come in, we consider each one when we have our meetings and decide what we can do and what we can afford to do.
Okay, we are joined with Peter, and we're talking all about the Swale Lions Club here at BRFM. We're joined with Peter Dixon. We're talking all about the Swale Lions Club here at the Monday night community show. Now, we're going to be speaking to Steve in a minute, but how did you meet Steve?
Well, what happened was a member of our club saw a flyer that Steve had put in one of the local pubs explaining his situation. It seemed very interesting, so we arranged to come and visit Steve at his house. The plan was to be about half an hour. About an hour and a half later we left because it was so interesting. Further to that, we invited Steve to come to one of our meetings to explain to all the members of the club what his aims were. Everyone was remarkably impressed, so we decided that we would give an initial donation of £500 to help with his expenses. That was last October, and that we would revisit each year in the build-up to the 2012 Olympics to see if we could help in any other way. And I'm pleased to say we've just been able to give Steve a cheque for £500 this year, and we hope to be able to make further donations in the future as funds allow.
What have you done so far towards his Olympic goal?
Well, basically it's just financial support. It's, I think Steve was telling us that it costs something like £400 a month for him to fund all his travel and replacement of equipment, which in wheelchair rugby I understand is often broken, damaged or needs replacing, and it's a lot to find, and I'm sure other people have been helpful as well, and from what Steve said to us, that has been a great help. Whenever I've spoken to him on the phone or we've met in the flesh, he's always been cheerful and very, very grateful, which is nice.
Peter, what useful contact details do you have for our listeners if they'd like to find out more about what you do at the Swale Lions Club?
Well, my wife Jenny Dixon is the secretary of the club, and probably the easiest thing to give is the phone number, which is a local number 01795 474424. We're used to receiving phone calls, and that's a useful form of contact. Can I just say, this is an opportunity for me on behalf of the club to say a very warm thank you to the extraordinarily generous people of Swale, who year after year give us money. And without their money, we wouldn't be able to take on any of these projects. So we're very grateful. And to remind them that we should be outside the supermarkets as ever this Christmas. Thank you.
Peter, I'd like to thank you very much for speaking to us here at BRFM and letting us know a little bit more about what the Swale Lions Club does.